Thank you. All right. Okay. Give me the high line. All right. Thank you so much. All righty. This is Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, and welcome to the Administrative and Executive Committee meeting of the Indian Wells Valley Board of Directors. I officially call the meeting to order at 3 p.m. With that, I would like to know if there's any committee or public comments. Nothing from the audience? Nothing online there yet, Chris? Okay. With that, we'll move on to number 3, the outstanding public records requests. Are there any that we're handling or that haven't been handled yet?
I don't believe we have any new ones, and the only one that's outstanding was the one that Jim Worth had been working for some time, and I don't know if that was ever, I don't know whatever came of that one. We'll have to ask Jim at the regular
Yeah,
meeting.
see if we can determine if there's anything out there, just so we don't.
Check with Jim.
Yeah. I even forgot which one that was. It's been about 4 or 5 months.
It was a request that had to deal with the adjudication, and there'll come a point in time where it will actually, so it was, we couldn't answer it because it asked for things that were privileged. And there will come a point in time. So he's trying to, I believe, prep all this stuff ready.
Okay.
So at the appropriate time, it can be released.
Yeah, let's just see where we're on to make sure we're not getting behind schedule. Any comments or questions about that from the public or the committee? All righty, hearing none. Conference and training travel.
Renee, did you have one that you wanted to go to? I know that, I thought you had sent me.
No, I'm sending Justin to one in March
Yeah, the one.
down in Irvine. It has to do with pipeline assessment, condition assessment and stuff. It's
And
an
then you-
AWA conference.
Yeah, and then Renee had also sent one out. It's not necessarily for board approval, but just for your awareness. I believe it was one that our operators could go to.
It's the California Nevada AWWA conference. Yeah, in the past, it's been a good one because it has a lot of technical sessions for operators.
Is that the one that's about, I'm going to say, aquifer recharge or something was in there?
No,
Or is
that's,
that a different one?
No, there is that one as well.
Are we attending that?
Justin can attend that. I
Okay.
had given him a heads up on that.
Right.
And if we want to send him, he can go to that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
we verified Tim will,
So-
like I said, Tim will probably be there.
But we would like to send a couple of our operators out for some additional higher level training as well. So
I don't see an issue with it. It's in Ty's hands whether we can, whether he can punch the check for it. You know, I always turn to him with these things.
yeah,
Um,
that's exactly what we'll
yeah.
do. We'll make sure it's within the budget, but those are the ones that are sort of
Yeah.
on the schedule now. I still haven't seen the Aqua, I believe it's the spring conference come up yet. I know that one's going.
Yeah, I talked to Isabel and I says, she told me it's in Sacramento, I believe, is it not? That's the only thing that sort of held me back from it is I really want to make a trip up there for that. So I says, hold off for a while. I got so many things happening that month. It's like, I think I'll be back and then I'll be here a day and then I'd have to leave for Sacramento and I don't know.
Okay.
So I told her I'd decide by the end of the month.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's where we're at with those.
okay. And we could ask the rest of the board too, if anyone's interested.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any comments or questions on that item? Hearing none, we'll go on to Indian Wells Valley Groundwater Authority. Anything new to report there from that you know of or?
No, have not yet seen the latest agenda for, I believe, next week. So we'll be going over that when we see it.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and touch base again on this chart that Ty's helped me put together, replenishment fee controlled by the GA. And we're going to, I would like to see this presented during the board meeting under discussions about the GA, which is basically total fees paid as of the year ending 2023, fees transferred to pumping, fees remaining in replenishment fund is cash, and fees spent. So I like this, and I was going to ask you something, Ty. Can you look at their year-ending financials to see? We could probably how much was we can highlight that it's not audited for year ending 2024. Can we just based on? I mean, we're the only ones paying it, so we ought to be able to come up with a number for 2024.
For 24, that audit is done, yeah.
That's the audit, I'm sorry.
You'd think
Okay,
in
okay,
2020.
that's the numbers you need to fill in here yet.
Yeah.
Okay, that audit is done. It'd be nice if, I was thinking, can, for 2025, can we put an asterisk, this isn't audited, and come up pretty close to what that number is?
I can do some digging and see what I
You know, based on their financials. Their financials at least ought to say how much in 2025 they transferred over to the
should.
pumping fee, and we probably should know the fees paid because we're paying them. And the only one, and fees remain, just check it out and see it, because if you can add a 25 column with an asterisk saying, everything else here is audited except for that one, those are estimates, that has a big impact.
So now I'll remind folks, the GA is starting a new website. And one of the things that they are doing is they're not transferring all of the older documents over to the new website. I checked the website today to see if I believe it's the 2025 annual water report. I think they said it's coming out at some point soon. It hasn't come out yet, so there's nothing to report on it. But when it comes out, I will be talking about it. But if we're going to go back and look at some of the historical stuff, we need to make sure we get there before. And I don't know when their new website's going to come up.
But I thought we agreed that we were gonna go ahead and download everything we can and save it. Is that, and I'll ask Chris that question, because they're intending to cut us off at the knees at their website saying nothing's available until starting I think they said 2020 or 20, something like that.
Yeah.
So everything prior to that is, I don't know where it's gonna be. But we talked about, are we able to download that and save that information before they get rid of it all? And I know we talked about that. I remember it, and I thought we had yes answers from somewhere.
I think your general manager may have failed to ask our software genius to look into how difficult that would be. And so I think I'm glad you reminded me of that, and I'm glad I thought about it
Is that what's
here
it?
because I think we do need to. So Chris, let's chat after this meeting.
I surely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to look into 2025 if we can do anything. And if you don't get it right away, we still have another board meeting come. And we also discussed putting something about pumping fee on here as well. That's fairly similar. And the reason I'm doing this first of all, I think it's important for our ratepayers to know how much money is being spent on these kind of things. And on top of that, of course, I'm working on a chart about money spent to date, total money spent to date by the GA, not necessarily where it's from, and I may be talking about it next Monday, just so you know, but it'll all be under this agenda item. And I think it's important, and that's why I'm doing it. I think our ratepayers need to see what kind of money are we paying, and where's it going? And I think as long as we keep these things up, and that you have a group out there now that's getting very, very anxious about what's going on with the GA. And the most recent question I received from them was about, because I think they have someone entering their group or talking to the group that the water district has done nothing to save water over the years. So that's why, Renee, I text you to get the number for 2025. And believe it or not, the highest number I think was 91 something. So we're 37%. And so they can argue, we can argue that point back and forth with them because people just have the wrong impression type of thing. And the last thing I have, and I don't know, this is the groundwater pumping report from their 2024. Okay, I think the 2025 is due in April, isn't it? So we don't have it yet.
Yep.
But you notice that we pumped, well, Phil Hall said it was like 28,000, actually 20,800 is what the pumping they have, and it's called estimated. I think actual is actually pretty lower. And then when you go to the next page on it, George, you'll notice this. It says 20,840. I'm sorry, the third page of it. It starts talking about recycled water use. And they have 1,220 acre feet. And so their last chart says total estimated water used in our aquifer. And they take the 20,800 acre feet of pumping and they add into it the 1,220 feet of recycled water that's been used. Makes no sense to me. You see how I'm going, Mike? Yeah. So they're saying our aquifer depleted 22,000 acre feet. But all that water, that 1,220 is water that's been pumped once already. Okay. Yeah, so take a look at that when you see, and I'd appreciate any comments. Mike, I know you have access to their pumping data from the 2024 semi-annual report. And if not, George can get you a copy, or you can take a copy of this with you. Yeah. But and those are the kind of things, and because what I'm telling people is that when we discuss that portion of the agenda on the GA, that we're going to start, I'm going to start bringing up more and more of this, because people can't get the information they need at the GA meeting because either they can't go or they don't get answered. So we may see more people wanting to talk to us. And as far as I'm concerned, if we have the information, we'll pass it on to them. So that's what I have on that particular part of it. I see that we have a hand up out there, do we not, Chris? Go ahead and pass them through, please. Okay. Yes. Renee, could you please unmute, and then you can come on board, and are you there, Renee? I think you're still muted. If you can hear me. She must be able to hear us because she had her hand up, right, Chris? That's what I thought. In the meantime, Mike, do you have any comments? Well, if Renee comes on, we'll just hold her until Mike, since Mike. Yeah. We're still not getting through. Go ahead, Mike. That's the one I'm talking about, the new grassroots group that's popping up. Yeah.
This kind of stuff, you guys all get in on input, whatever you want, data you want to give out, make it easy to move through. Some people jump from Facebook pages that are brand new, that's something. They need a lot of information. Kind of, tonight they're going to no doubt vote in, Ron Strand to be a consultant at $150 an hour, and apparently we're say they're claiming those people on the payroll sometime this summer, do mediation after activity. I want to read that is one thing I had to kind of figure it out for myself was still don't know for sure about Bill Hall that kind of seems left the county and now works for the new
Right.
law.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's sitting in. Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, same as before with that. Yeah. Thing they can possibly come up with to keep the narrative going. I think they can prevail at mediation. Too much good data and all of you have too much subject matter. Let's hope that. Oh, and the other interesting thing was this particular meeting tonight, city council, they're supposed to always have a discussion item about the GA on the agenda. No, tonight.
They decided to take it off, I guess.
We need to discuss this, the spot taking care of all that. Let's make a committee report out of it, and that basically got voted down, so. Now that got voted, the effort to kind of close it off, got voted down, apparently the new staff is going to put it on the agenda, so it's not going to come up at all, period, in any fashion, so. What else is new on the part of the city?
Mike, I'll say one thing I've noted is that I have noted on occasion the city council has not had it on there. I know they typically try to have one after the GA meeting, so Mr. Heyman would report. So what I would hope is that they continue to report, he continues to report to city council after the GA meeting, which means the meeting after next Wednesday when they have theirs. So hopefully they will continue to report that, but we'll see. Because I've noticed on a couple of occasions their agendas didn't have it, and I asked that question that you did, and that was the answer I got anyway.
I'll respond to the three things you have, Mike. Yeah.
Testing about the GA, because they can't, interrupt their lives at 11 o'clock in the morning, on Thursday morning. And go to
No later than 11. It might start at 10:30. You never know when to be there. Yeah. I want to go ahead and respond to a couple of things, Mike. Number one is the county presently doesn't have an attorney. They don't. And typically the attorney that's up there is an attorney that represents whoever the chair is. So that's probably why Keith Lemieux is there. So secondly, that taxpayers thing you're seeing on Facebook, they've been in contact with the water district, and that's why some of this information I'm talking about is coming out. These are questions they're asking, which is good. The more questions they ask, the more the better. You'll see them, I believe, at the GA meetings asking questions. They would hope to go to the council and ask questions, but it's not there. And your last comment about the discussion about GA things, you're right. I believe that I'm proud of the water district that we continue to have that on our agenda, and we're able to discuss and clarify items to the public that they may or may not understand. And we encourage them to ask us. I would expect the same from the city, whether there's a meeting or not, that people ought to be able to go up there and say, I have a question for what's going on. But they've elected not to go that way. They look at it as just a report of a meeting. So all it's going to, and I'm hoping this group starts pushing that, because they're pushing for transparency. And the fact that a lot of people that are in this group can't meet sometime from 10 to 11 o'clock on a Wednesday in the morning. So I know some people in the group. They've contacted the district. They're a grassroots thing. We're directing them towards information on our website, and we will continue to. And if they have questions that we can help them with, we'll help them with wherever we can. So I would not steer away from Mike. You might be a good help for them. You might want to check out when they first have their meeting and check in and see what's going on. Yeah, exactly. All right. Anything else on the groundwater authority? Except the fact that Mallory Boyd will be attending next week because David will be out of town.
We have a caller?
Yeah, we have a caller. Yeah. Did she, now I know she's off now. Did she give up or? Okay, so if she can hear me, what I'll say is that if she can get back online before the meeting is over, we'll answer or take any comments she has, regardless of what item it is.
Okay, she left. And then let me admit again and ask her to leave and come back in. We'll see if that does.
Okay, we'll give it a minute or so and see.
She's back in. Let's see if she can now.
Do you have the ability to message them if they don't message you first, to say unmute? Yeah.
Got a video. I don't see any audio yet.
No audio.
See a smiling face though.
Well, Renee, if you can hear us, if you finally,
I can hear you.
okay, then we can hear you now.
Okay. My
Oh.
comments are these. Number one, about the archiving. At the last GA meeting, I asked, why can't you go back to at least 2018? Because I think that's the year they started videotaping everything. And it was the year they passed the extraction fee. And I said, people may want to look up the history of the extraction fee and the
Right.
meetings prior. And so April said she was going to try to go all the way back to 2018, but she says it's going to make the thing more cumbersome or something like that. But who cares,
I agree with you.
And because I think it's important people understand how we got started on these fees in the first place. But anyway, then the second comment I have is about you said 1,200 acre feet is added to the 20,000
Yeah,
acre.
it's in the, check out the pumping data
Okay.
from the 24
That-
report.
The explanation to that might be in the fact that that's the water the GA said. I think they've quoted around 1,000 to 1,200 acre feet that is lost from recycling and what the Navy has to take out for the golf course and the chewy tub fish. Because in the phase one adjudication, which I listened to most of it, they made a big case about it that if the wastewater treatment plant water after it's treated would be eventually sold by a buyer who wanted it to use for industrial use, etc. They said the Navy was going to have to build a special building for the storage of the water for the chewy tub and the golf course water. And
Okay,
that wasn't on the drawing board.
I'll
And I
just,
think,
go
I
ahead, I'm
think
sorry.
that 1,200 acre feet, they're adding it to the water that's been pumped because they said there is significant loss when you start recycling water that has to be treated. And I think the GA said the most, when they looked at recycling water as an alternative, instead of getting the pipeline, it wasn't going to provide enough water because they'd only get like 1,500 acre feet at the most.
Okay, quick comment about that. Don't forget, all the water that goes into that recycling plant is water that's already been pumped once. All the toilets that are flushing, all the sinks that are running and everything else, it's already water that's been pumped once. So counting it again out of water coming out of the wastewater treatment plant, I don't quite understand. I'll try to work on it, but I don't see where it's not already accounted for because it's been pumped already. I mean, where else would the water come from? So you can't count it twice. So that's what I think, Renee, but we won't get in that discussion here because I'll just do more research on it to find out. And your other comment about archiving, I don't know what kind of statement that is that it's going to complicate the site or you can't do it because it's too much to be on the site. I don't quite understand that, but I agree with you. I appreciate your comment to them that there's people that maybe are new to town or getting involved, and this new group is one that want the history and want to be able to go back and look at these things and understand them. So I do appreciate you trying to get the GA to have all of that, especially the video available if they have it, or at least the agendas and the minutes from those meetings so people can find out about it. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, prior to 2018, they weren't recorded. So all you have are agendas and minutes.
Yeah, but that's better than nothing. At least it gives people a chance to research.
Yeah,
All right. Anything else, Renee?
that's it.
Thank you very much. All right. So I guess we're on to number 6, review of connection fee policy. What's going on with that? Who's handling that one?
We got legal, so Renee can probably explain this better than me, but in general, if I understand correctly, we have older areas, so assessment districts, for example, where there were agreements that were supposed to last 20 or 30 years. That 20 or 30 years has gone by, and we are still charging the connection fees in those areas based on these outdated and no longer really valid agreements, and it's costing us money that we need to correct. Is that a fair summary?
Not 100% accurate.
There we
no.
go. That's why I
Okay.
needed Renee to help me.
Can you put that in terms
Okay.
I can understand?
So the district's policy, of course, when someone applies for service, we have a couple different connection fees. We have the capital facility fee,
Right.
distribution system fee. And the distribution system fee is not charged like in a subdivision or an assessment district area where it's been, hasn't been 30 years haven't passed. Usually at the 30-year mark, then we start charging those fees again.
Right.
But in our policy, it does point out that we would not charge those fees in these assessment district areas. And then we have some other kind of small agreements. And that was okay for a while, but we've now passed, well past in some cases, that 30-year mark. And legal still hasn't given us an answer to, okay, the assessments have been paid. We're doing work out there now. We're replacing things, things are getting old and things are breaking and we're still not charging these new connections, all the fees that we think that we should be charging them now. So we're reviewing all of that. I mean, there was a case, for instance, a couple years ago, and it's a really small area, just a couple of streets. It was an old water system. I think it was back in the early 70s. We signed an agreement with them that we would only charge like a $450 connection fee for new services.
Oh, I see
Should we
what you're
still
saying.
be honoring that after 50 years?
I see. Okay. I thought I was looking at things, because from an assessment district where the assessment.
Yours is one of them. 30 years is
But it
up.
doesn't mean that I'm going to get charged additional money. What you're saying is that if anybody in that area connects.
New
to house-
connections at
New
this
connections will
point.
pay the regular fees.
Yes.
But when it first went in, there was some agreement made that we'll keep those connections fee at this point.
They were paid via the assessment.
Aha.
That's what it was. So on your taxes,
So it's new
It is that.
connections and things.
this
like
is
that.
new connections in those assessment districts and other areas like that.
And so you're working with Jim and
Yes.
you guys are going to see how we need to clean that
We're
up.
trying to keep pushing on Jim to get this reviewed and done because we've been wanting him to do it for quite.
All the
some time.
assessment districts are way past.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1991, something like that, where most of them were done and accepted by the board. So we're beyond that 30
So,
years.
so someone puts up a new subdivision over there and they start putting a bunch of stuff in it.
There's been a lot of infill and stuff,
Yeah,
So each
exactly.
time somebody does that and it's 3/4 inch meter, we're missing out on, $3,000 or so.
Yeah.
Would this include the review of the ADU stuff too, or is that's a completely separate one? Have we reached out to
That
one?
is kind of combined into this too. We have all these new ADUs going in and there's, whoa.
Oh, wrong button. Boy,
Have
you.
a malfunctioning.
All right.
Yeah,
With the,
Trick is.
yeah.
with the ADUs, there's certain laws that we have to abide by. There's certain fees we can and cannot charge based on the size of the ADUs and such. So we need to build that into our policy also,
Okay.
so that we're consistent in how we treat people on that.
So we need to clean this stuff up. I
Yeah.
can understand when things like that are for 20 years or 30 years, whatever they be, they tend to get lost in the
Yes.
shuffle in the woods. I could forget about it.
And some of
Because-
these had no, if it's been 50 or 55 years since this was signed,
Yeah,
do we have to be honoring that in perpetuity? I mean, it just seems a little ridiculous.
yeah, I know. Yeah, we're going to give you hookups for $10 instead of $300 for forever.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
I think it was, we're, obviously pushing legal to get on this, but letting the committee know that we're looking at this.
Yeah. I know that Jim is pretty darn busy right now with everything that's going on, but it's well worth it, obviously, because it could, over the
That's
course that's
revenue.
been going on, it could be a whole lot of money that we left under
We
the
estimated
table.
last year, what was it, over $100,000 that we lost?
So there's still things, oh, wow.
Hmm.
Okay. So remind me not to put a new meter in once you do that in my house. Okay, great, I understand. So we'll see something coming forth from that in the months to come.
We sure hope so.
Okay, thank you so much.
That is the plan.
All right. Are there any committee comments or questions about that? Anything from the public? I always glance over at Chris to see if he gives me the high sign. Nothing? All right. So let's move on to the draft agenda for the regular board meeting. And see if I spot anything or you guys do that you want to change or add. Looks like it'll be a quick meeting. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. And I like the fact that we keep that groundwater authority thing as close as we can to the beginning because we have people who come just for that. And no, I don't see anything on here unless something's been missed under the manager or the engineering update, but I think everything I would expect is there. I still want to know on the security cameras, do we have pictures of Chris installing those cameras up on the towers? Climbing to,
He said he wouldn't do it.
He
We
wouldn't
got-
do
we
it.
got Jonathan instead.
Okay. Remember, we like pictures, so as things go together, it'd be nice to see what's going on out there. There you go, yeah. Okay, I don't see anything on here. Is there any comments from the committee? or anybody that has anything they want to add, delete? All right, hearing none, then I guess we're going to move forward with this agenda. All right. All right, on to number 8, future agenda items. Are there any comments or questions on future agenda items that you'd like to see on the Administrative Executive Committee?
I think at some point, a discussion about what impact the recent events at Searles Valley Minerals could be in order, because it could affect how much income we collect in the future and things like that.
I'll leave that up to you. I don't know how, I want to be careful how we approach it. All we know is it's a shocker, and we know that it's going to affect the area. But I'm not, if you think we can accomplish something from it, and in terms of what our revenues and expenses are going to look like, I have no problem.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I mean, and obviously that's a very unfortunate news for the town, and it does affect the overall water picture at some level.
And if it does, if you and Ty and any of you guys decide that it does, and it's something we need to put on here, I have no problem with that. If we expect to see some kind of an impact to our budget because of it, I think it's important that we talk about it. Okay,
George,
anything else?
Do you plan to send the revised org chart next month to the board?
That needs to come that actually needs to come to the regular.
Yes, that would come to
To
next
this meeting
committee.
first.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
we're
that
going to
could be
review that internally with staff tomorrow, and then so it probably won't make Monday's meeting, but
Well, it needs to make this meeting before it makes the board
Yeah.
meeting
So it would
correct.
be.
So it'll be
future
next
for the-
month.
next month.
Yeah,
Okay,
next month we'll have it.
okay. Thank you. All right, Mike?
Okay, as promised, I'm going to continue to bring this up because I feel strongly about it. And that would be to have an agenda item to begin exploratory discussions, I guess you might call it, on the subject of discontinuing paying the replenishment fee to the GA and conjointly possibly leaving the GA as a member. And it's been actually almost comical for the last two to 3 years to watch all the slander and libel thrown the way of the water district by people on the GA or people at the city, and yet they're supposed to be on the same board sitting up there, and the water district's been the whipping post all this time. I mean, you just saw the example. Searles Valley said, we ain't paying, and they went to court and they won their case, and they haven't paid a dime of replenishment fee all these years, which is not anything close to the $14 million we've paid over all these years. And so I'm going to keep pushing for you guys to give serious consideration to just dropping because you literally are the GA. You are the money pot. Without your funds given to them, they'd have to abolish themselves. Literally, they wouldn't have any money from anywhere. So that's my input on that.
I know it's dear to your heart, but I can tell you that many of the things that you're talking about, there's going to be a lot of legal restrictions on it because of everything that's going on with the adjudication and validations and things like that, there's not a lot we can say about that yet. But I got my hopes that this year things will happen. So, you'll be informed as soon as something is decided or it's filed in the courts officially, then we will inform the public. But I thank you. Anything else? No one online? All right. So with that, we will adjourn this meeting at 3:33:33. Well, a little bit close enough.